PIA is also available for all platforms. So when you want to watch WWE on Netflix, for example, you can easily access it via Windows, macOS, Android, iOS, and all your devices, all through one subscription. The biggest win from PIA is watching WrestlePalooza and every other premium live event from WWE through the service. If you're in the US, ESPN's new app will cost $30 per month on top of having Netflix. Using PIA, you can easily switch to Canada or Europe-based Netflix, and you'll never have a problem watching WWE again. It's the best decision you can make to get all your WWE content in one place. Click my link in the description and pinned comment, or scan the QR code and grab an 83% discount on PIA. That's just $2.03 a month, and you'll also get 4 extra months completely free. So if you sign up today, you're going to save a ton when wanting to watch WWE PLEs every single month. Thank you so much to Private Internet Access for supporting the channel. Now let's get back to the video. So Brock Lesnar, John Cena, that match happened. So there's more to it. Brock is insanely big. He got bigger, I think. I swear he did. I love Cena's entrance with the kids coming out with him. I'm a dad, so that was a soft spot for me. I really like that. Cena coming down. This match, really, as I took notes, the number one, I guess the first thing was that Heyman showed up to do the announcing the introductions for Brock Lesnar. That was a fun surprise. And you never know, that could be because, well, we had the tie-in on SmackDown, or they teased something. This was it. Is there anything else that's going to happen? Nobody knows. Brock may go away forever. I like that they just kind of tied these two back together. It added for a good moment. Got the crowd kind of into all of it with Paul Heyman standing there. No reference to it later on, as far as I know. Maybe something they roll back to, but it just seemed like a one-off. Brock beats Cena with a bunch of F5s. There were some German suplexes. There was like 3 attitude adjustments in there. This was a Brock Lesnar match. And man, it was not like incredibly quick, but very middle of the road. The Cena-Cody match at SummerSlam.
If you're going to take a girl out to Sticks, put her in West Seattle in a Wonder property, and she'll be saying this the entire weekend. And speaking from personal experience, there was 24/7 concierge, 5 bedrooms, 5.5 baths, heated floors, heated decks, 2 wet bars, and a gym. The entire trip felt like a luxury, whimsical fairy tale.
This is how many college applications get tossed in the denied pile because they sound exactly the same. College applications are due November 1st, and the deadline is coming up faster than you think. In just one free 30-minute session, our team can show you where your student stands right now, what it'll take to stand out to top colleges, and a personalized roadmap to beat the competition. We've helped thousands of students through this exact process. Our students have gained admission to Stanford, NYU, Emory, UT Austin, Penn, you name it. Don't regret not starting the college application process sooner. There's only a few spots left for your free initial consultation. Sign up today before the November 1st deadline sneaks up on you.
I thought was amazing. Like, I thought it was a great match. Even then, when I reviewed it, I was like, this is an awesome match. This was a Brock Lesnar match, and Brock Lesnar won. Maybe they are going to set up a rematch at Crown Jewel. Maybe. That's the only thing I can get from this. Having Brock win doesn't do anything. Cena just kind of waving to the crowd at the very end. That's all there is. It wasn't compelling. It didn't draw you in. It was a bunch of Brock Lesnar spot moves where it's the heavy hitting. Brock Lesnar doing a bunch of clotheslines to John Cena, and it was just kind of there. That's how I took it. Maybe you feel differently. Maybe you thought this was one of their better matches, but I watched it, and I kind of blinked, and then it was a bunch of attitude adjustments and a bunch of F5s, and then it was just over. And I was like, oh, it didn't get to, I think it didn't get to like a second gear. It didn't get to the next level for me, and it felt like that for some of the matches on the show as well. This one, though, to open the show, you had the fanfare of Brock Cena, and that sells a lot, but this thing was nothing to write home about. My one point on maybe this goes to another match, Crown Jewel is next. I could see like nothing else happened during this, no post-match angle, nothing. So it's kind of like, who's John Cena's next opponent at Crown Jewel? My only thinking is that they do number 2 and in this series, and then they ended with John Cena beating Brock Lesnar. they could tell a story of John Cena underestimating Brock. Them not having any real confrontations, nothing, just a couple of F5 spots on the shows. It didn't help the build, in my opinion. It might work better now if they go to Crown Jewel and they have one more time. Not that I want to see, I'm advocating at all for I am not Paul Heyman, I am not advocating for a Brock Cena match again. But if they want to be able to get more out of it, now you could tell an more interesting story of John Cena being like, I don't know if I can do this, and you go through a rocky training montage with Cena. Or not. Maybe it's just over. But if it is just over, it's kind of like, what was the point of this? So I really didn't find this match very entertaining. Brock won. Okay. Then you got the Usos versus The Vision. I swear, maybe you disagree. Was the Usos entrance as long as the Brock Cena match? That was so long. So very long. Let's do it for you. Let's show ESPN what we're all about. And then they do the heating and the lights, and it just kept going and going and going. It was Jey Uso's entrance on steroids. This thing just took forever. Now we had LA Knight. It was announced earlier. LA Knight was special guest referee. I like LA Knight in that skull figure, but I like LA Knight as special ref. Not our first time Mr. LA Knight has been special guest referee. This match had some fun spots in it of LA Knight turned his back away as being referee, but then at one point Jey got bloody towards the very end. I don't know what the heck happened there. I like the idea that it's kind of just turns into a schmozzy mess because LA Knight is not really paying attention. The sequence that ended everything was going to be the double spear through the table, which didn't really have enough oomph to it. I think where the guys were positioned, they were a little too far apart, but you ended the match with the double spear, and that was it. But right before that, you had some odd stuff, and I don't know if this was all just part of it in character or not, but you had LA Knight going for the pins, and then the kickouts, and Jey Uso is standing there, and he's yelling at LA Knight. And it almost looked like Jey was yelling at him, like, get out there or over there. You're supposed to be over there. Something like a spot was missed. I don't know. Maybe it was all just them just bantering, yelling at each other because they were doing that throughout the match. And I do like that tension of Jey and LA Knight. Like, that's the match now I want to see, is these two guys finally one-on-one. Maybe that's the crown jewel match. But I felt like there was some breakdown in there because when the match was over, LA Knight just 1, 2, 3, spit on the floor and didn't raise anybody's hands and just got out of there. Now, of course, he doesn't want to side with the heels with this, but you think that in the position of the referee in the story, he begrudgingly has to be like, I'm going to raise their hands. Also, if LA Knight raised their hands, I think it would add an extra layer to the Jey Uso story with LA Knight of like, hey, man, you raise the hands of the bad guys here. What's going on? And Paul Heyman raises their hands anyways. So the match overall, though, fine. I think it would have been just as good as a Raw main event. Was this a giant near fall finisher match where I was on the edge of my seat? No, I thought it was good. I think LA Knight helped, honestly, a lot of this just because it added an extra dimension to it. If you didn't have LA Knight in there, you got a really standard tag team match, and they essentially made it a no DQ Extreme Rules match with LA Knight in the ring. So I think that it needed that a lot. But yeah, Jey got busted open. There was blood everywhere. So it was fine. It just wasn't a big blow off like I needed it to be because there's more. I don't know what else you're going to tell with all four of these guys. Like, what's the Vision going to do now? Are they just going to keep feuding with Jey and LA Knight? I think now you got to get to LA Knight and Jey Uso. And no swerve at the end. No deception. No.
HBK, we empower the innovators by integrating the virtual and physical worlds, providing the essential sensing, data insights, software, and analytic solutions, empowering our customers to innovate with greater confidence, more quickly, more efficiently, solving big challenges for a better world, for greener energy and the electrification of mobility, connecting society, accelerating automation, advancing production, driving productivity, ensuring safety and reliability, cleaner, healthier, more productive. We are HBK, empowering the innovators. HBK for a dynamic world.
question of Jey Uso turning bad. None of it. He didn't shove Jimmy off. He didn't shove LA Knight off. There was nothing that was supporting what Jay's behavior has been week after week right now on Raw. And I think I was also missing that to me. Okay, then you got the third match. You got Io Sky versus Stephanie Becker for the vacated World Heavyweight Championship. I thought this was probably the match of the night. I thought that this was excellent. It was built very well. I thought it built and built as like the minutes went by for both of them. It was a little clunky at some parts of it, but the heck do I know? I just thought that it was really enjoyable, and it built to a really good pace to the very end. There's still too much in this match. So I was listening to commentary, and there's still too much of like Michael Cole and Pat McAfee and them putting over ESPN and this wonderful magical deal they have. I get it, it's a big moment for you guys, move on, because it was just a constant commentary stream of ESPN and we love you. The women's match itself, yeah, this was a standout for me. I was surprised. Stephanie Becker won the world title, and I was surprised they pulled the trigger on Stephanie. I thought they would have gone with Io, more of a tried and true. They know what they're getting with her. Stephanie, they went with something new and fresh. And I say I was kind of surprised because they haven't featured her a lot on TV, like at all throughout this whole build, and the build has been very clunky in my eyes, but I thought this match was just really good, really well put together, good celebration at the end. The finisher, what do they call it? Was it a spinal tap or something like that? But moved by Stephanie, the big flip that Stephanie did at the very end. I love that ending sequence. That was awesome. I thought it was great, and it's great to have something fresh. Like, I didn't expect Stephanie to win, so now I'm excited to see what do they do. Io should probably move over to Kabuki Warrior Land and deal with that, maybe with Rhea. But it'd be really cool to have Stephanie come out, cut a promo, do maybe some kind of open challenge. Let's get some fresh challengers in there. Let's get new faces to challenge her. Because now you have a clean slate. You have somebody who's very popular. The crowd loves Stephanie Becker. Let's build this thing up. Don't give me an Io rematch. Maybe you want to do an Asuka match with Stephanie. I think Rhea and Stephanie Becker is kind of an inevitability. But maybe they could even switch up people on brands and freshen up the women's division. I think it was a great move. Really love this match. Okay, CM Punk, AJ Lee versus Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. The mixed tag team semi-main event. This was fun. The whole thing was just a lot of shenanigans throughout, and the first half of the match really felt like, okay, it was just cutting off CM Punk to get the hot tag to AJ Lee to have the big moment. I love the chemistry between Becky and Seth. I think they're just great as these just obnoxious heels. They're dressed exactly the same. That all worked so well for me. I thought the first half was a little slow of just that constant cutting off Punk to get to AJ Lee. I know that they're trying to build to that spot in that moment. I get it. But it was very long in that regard. She had a bunch of stomps. When AJ finally got in there, she's doing the top rope splash. She's doing Black Widows. She's looking good, and she's hitting all the spots and everything. The big moment was coming to the outside when they did the table spot, and they're all setting up to do the double finishers on the tables. And Becky actually pushes AJ Lee into CM Punk, who's on the other table with Seth, and they go through, and the table then like snaps, and then AJ kind of bounces and then lands. You see Punk going over to AJ to make sure she was okay. That was again just a little gnarly spot, but it ended with. After that, you had Becky and AJ roll back into the ring, and then Black Widow, AJ, and Punk win. I mean, this match did a lot. It basically turned into a tornado tag team match. It was supposed to be just a regular mixed tag match rules. They set it up like that in the beginning, and then once AJ got involved, it was legal in the match. It really just turned into tornado tag.
Shorty ass
which maybe they should have done in the first place. And you had the table spot. See, here's the thing: the WWE rules. It is what it is, but like they do all these.
I don't know if it's that I can
fuck disqualifications. No, that's fine. Oh,
that's
okay.
a fact. That's a fact, Deontay. I'm that nigga. I'm that boy. Fuck is you talking about? Flipping like mattresses out this bitch. You know what the fuck is going down?
It was a great showing for
how you living?
First match.
How you coming? That's what I really do out here. I really get the hustle out here. Niggas playing with me like I'm not him. Nigga, I'm him out here. Nigga.
Seth and Becky and all of it.
Bitch out here just
you guys win. Not too much of a surprise. But where do you go from here with AJ Lee?
Hey, boo. Nah, bitch. Ain't no hey, boo.
Do you squeeze a little bit more out of that? To me, you end up going down a singles path. I think now it's like, okay, we have this big moment at Palooza. Let's move AJ Lee on. And maybe she now branches off to fight Becky. because she made Becky tap, you could go to Crown Jewel and you get the IC title on the line, Becky versus AJ Lee, the big marquee match, and then I think there you can even have Becky retain, kind of DQ her way out of it, roll up win, something like that, and she can retain the belt with Seth's help. Because then Punk can actually go.
Oh, now you want to play, but when it's at nighttime, when I'm trying to do my shit, your bitch ass don't want to play. Oh, BD, you out. Let's start that gun today, man, Jones. Alright, get me out of here, bro. Get me out of here. You're wasting my fucking time.
Killing dad, I'm sacrificing all this odds that nigga want a piece of man. I thought I was a child, so I think I was starting to get got sick. Cause we respect so many blocks, I think I'm really being a bitch. But I got something in the top, so big. Hey, I just brought me a new block. And this shit bust like most parts. But that thing was like his ass like baby boy if he got hard. Niggas don't be on shit, we spin they blunts, spin they bars. Like 40 days and 40 nights, we make it rain like Noah's Ark. Might go drinking 5.56s if you scream, but I pray to God. We said brother, don't shed tears, you lay up life, but play smart. What's in the dark, don't cut a light, bitch, we exposing all the fraud. Hey, bitch, we exposing all the frauds. I'm going like speak up. You can say what you want, can't say it, I'm broke. Let it call her down, I still can't go. I ain't gon' stop till my niggas get on. Shut up my bitch and she back to the bone. I stay on my gun, I ain't never alone. I stay on that road, I ain't never at home. Everyone in the bed of men. I push out the road, but I wash my hands. That bitch think she rich. I'm worth them getting just like this. I gotta thank God for the time to be blessed. My mama was stressed, sometimes it will hurt. I can't let you touch us, I put it work. I still gotta come on one day, I remember. Never say never, I got you forever. My girl on her knees when I do that, I bless her. My girl ain't wearing when I ain't at home. Because she knows I got block in the dresser. Tell me you want no possession. I should've whipped up more no pressure. I got a bitch, but I still need extra. I'm going for real, but I still ain't gonna text you. I think God, everybody, everybody, I don't wake up, get up, body. All my clothes up out the country. All my bitches come get money. Take your leg, but you can't take it from me. I've been beating with myself cause I make it go hard. I put down that track and I put down that wall. I put a bitch wrong, but my diamond busting like Charlie. Hey, yeah, you say what you want. I'm still what you do what I want. My bitch really shit what I want. You say what you want, can't say that I'm broke. Like Combo does, I say can't go. I get that stuff and now niggas get on. Shout out my bitch cause she back to the bone. I stay with my gun, I ain't never alone. I stay on that road, I ain't never at home. Every night I like a better man. I'm fresh on the road when I wash my hands. That bitch thinks she rich. They'll get just like this. I gotta thank God for the trying to be rich. My mama was stressing sometimes it would hurt. I can't actually touch cause I knew it would work. I stayed out of come on one day, I heard from me. I put the blow with the eye. He like the capital P. Yeah. He like the capital P. So I think that drink on the feet. That's like boy that get AKBs. Little dog, you better get police. Let the bitch keep begging me please. I bet I'm like stripping no sleeves. I bet on a little bitch, you know me. Shit, big like the water, I'm swinging your feet. Big dog, I'm going 4 feet. Kid dog, I'm using my feet. I'm bad dog, I jump out the street. The bitch worried about the LOE. I wanna see about the PINT. That's a capital P-I-M-P. Not T-I-P, but K-I-N-D. So I just want the MP3. I just sit back on my purse when I lean. Watch some make beats called the MPC. The mic take beats to hear all I mean. The bitch got hair like Andy Ari. The bitch want bad, but she never Ari. Ran up the bad bitch, that's all me. Hung up on the bad bitch that call me. I can't pay no attention, that's free. Hey, I'm brand new bitch, that's glee. Hey, wanna smile at a bitch, that's glee. Really no time money, all I see. I left that 5, but I called it 3. I don't wanna walk through the park with no bitch. Be with the fight, we can walk on the beach. I talk to my mommy and granny on speech. I don't wanna talk to nobody, no eat. They say, totally we patrolling our weed. This ain't no regular beat. You down with this thing, she sweet. 1300 just on my feet. So little baby, you come use your head. But I wait till to eat a day. Nigga, all my best friends dead. My day. He like the capital P. So I keep on trap on the feet. Tell that boy to get ass, get beat. But the bitch keep paying me please. I bet I'm like a shirt on the sleeves. I bet I'm on a little bitch, you know me. Treat me like the water, I'm swimming go deep. Got pocket words and shit. I did this shit with my eyes closed, you know what I'm talking about? That bitch out there by the word, please. Thank you. That shit bitch up for the peach. Shot for these niggas be capping the beat. I be getting money actually. Now you go. Funky ass bitch, you obsolete. Matter of fact, bitch, I'm out your league. You ain't talking money, bitch, you can leave. Part the words and I'm hopping the sleeve. Not a target, you can chill with the guys. Can't be young while I'm sipping champagne. Niggas hard till I'm up in the flash. Full of balls, titties, living the bay. 12, 5, 4, kick it at 8. You got money, that shit within the state. Niggas trash. Niggas wanted just today, 7.6.
Scary ass nigga. Scary ass nigga. Jill, I just really want to ball. Jill, I just really want to song. He like the capital P. But don't know my seat. Right on my feet. Don't even have wood on my feet. He like the capital P. That's why I take the whole trap on the feet. So that boy get ass, get beat. Let the bitch keep begging me please. I bet I'm like a shirt with no sleeves. I bet on a little bitch, you know me. Treat me like the water, I'm swimming go deep. I like to be with women, I don't fuck with niggas. If you're not my homie, I don't speak to say what's up to niggas. I don't do no back and forth, I just don't slump the nigga. I can really flex $1 million cash, I'm just a humble nigga. Remember he was turned out, you don't see him now. These niggas disappear, they must be playing how to sneak or something.
Anyways, I'm still trending every week, son. They thought that I was done, but I ain't even reached my peak of none. Still moving around the city like a YN. I like that little fun shit that you posted, let me buy in. Taking shopping all the stores around us high end. She love when I land back in Michigan on tight end. I have flights across the state, I got her landed late. I'm working hard as shit, not slowly pissed cause I done missed the date. Mother Nature hating on me, I just get your face. I buzz her at the gate, she having hate. You know that neck was great, you know that neck was good. She gon' fuck me and get up and go and pack a wood. She got me gon' walk around, I don't think I could. Pussy, I don't know how niggas living, but I'm living good. Pussy, yeah, ain't bitch, I'm living great. Pussy, gotta check for 1.3, what's this number 8? Pussy, make it till you make it on your jury sake. Won't put your bitch bad, I bet she betray. Yeah, I can make her cheat. What? I like shit, don't take it back so I don't get receipts. Let's go. I'm a chef to all my niggas, I make sure they eat. I can't flirt inside the club, they keep recording me. She wanna lick me 25 she don't get bored of me. Got too much motion in this bitch, I got the culture in this bitch. I got my culture in the whip, I got that glory on my hip. Don't get out of this if I think okay to me to sit. You dropping nonsense, I'm trying to tell you that ain't me. I like to be with women, I don't fuck with niggas. If you not my woman, you're in the speaker, so don't suck the niggas. I don't do it back and forth, I'm just gonna slug the nigga. I can really flex a million cash, just a humble nigga. Remember they was working, they don't see him now. These niggas disappear, they must be playing how to sneak or something. Anyways, I'm still trying every week or something. They thought that I was done, but I ain't even reached my peak of none. Have a YN doing a worm, but it's selling it all you
He's going to try to do all of the above here in this match. Her ability to sink her nails into the mind of the opponent is something that should be admired. Shoulders down, Penny trying to make short order of things there. paycheck anymore. I want to do more for my family, so I enrolled in my computer career.
The instructors and career.
It looks like Steve Harvey still hasn't forgiven Shannon Sharp for giving Cat Williams a platform to diss him. So Steve Harvey was on the Pivot podcast earlier this week, and on the podcast, he called Shannon Sharp disloyal and clickbaity.
Bro, what's up with the match, bro? Y'all think it's I'm trying to get this chamber pop. Y'all think I'm out? Fuck all that goof ass shit out. Ain't with all that shit, boy. I'll get the tweaking on your goof ass. On Bronson and Gray, boy. You wanna get poppers? I like to see where everything shit. Give me a sweet shit at that bitch.
In so many words. So Steve Harvey is still upset that the Count Williams and Club Shay Shay interview did about 90 million views and counting. Is the most watched interview in YouTube history. And Count Williams in that interview, for a large chunk of it, is calling Steve Harvey disloyal, calling Steve Harvey a snake, making accusations that Steve Harvey snaked a couple of his friends. Is not a good look for Steve Harvey at all. And Steve Harvey knows he could do a million interviews up until his death, correcting whatever Count Williams said on that interview. But the interview just did so many views that it don't matter like how many interviews Steve Harvey do, it would never reach the audience that Count Williams reached when Count Williams was going off on him. So here's what Steve Harvey had to say on the Pivot podcast about Shannon Sharp.
Y'all got a podcast and you're doing it brilliantly. Please don't stop doing the way you do. See, the problem with people is they get something that works and then they want to find something that works better. You ain't got to fix it if it ain't broke. See, I'm on radio for real. I have a real radio show. I have the #1 adult contemporary show, 25 to 54 in America. The Steve Harvey Morning Show. I'm at 112 markets. I got 9 million.
So here we go. Extreme Rules, basically.
I'm controlled by FCC rules. The problem is these people go get these podcasts who have no FCC rules to abide by. But you have to remember, even though you're on a podcast, you still got a brain. Yeah. And so you can't say what you want to say and expect to be relevant and not get careful. You can't have a podcast and the way that you think you can make money is on clicks and views at the expense of others and not expect to have to pay the expense. You can't have a podcast and like me on and don't expect to get in it. You can't have a podcast, let somebody come on your show and talk about your friends.
So obviously that's a reference to Shannon Sharp. Now he makes it more obvious later on by just outright saying Shannon Sharp's name. But he's referring to what Count Williams said about him on Shannon Sharp's podcast. if you guys forgot, let me remind you what Cat Williams had to say about Steve Harvey on Club Shay Shay.
The same Steve that went to go watch Mark Curry do his whole sitcom and then stole everything Mark Curry had. Now Steve got a sitcom where he's the principal and he wear a suit and then he gets this high top fade, making all black men think he got the best lineup in the business. And it's a man unit.
What made this Cat Williams interview so potent for a lot of Cat Williams interviews is because whatever Cat Williams said, you could do a quick Google search and figure out he wasn't lying. Because when Cat Williams said this about Steve Harvey, all people had to do was just pull up what Mark Curry said about Steve Harvey not so long before.
So what's up with your Steve, man? Ain't nothing with me. Well, Steve saw my material on his show, so I had him on what show? When he was on his bullshit talk show he had. And he did all my Halloween material one Halloween. I'm watching that. Somebody called me and said, man, homeboy doing your material. So he did my whole Halloween run. And I know he didn't think of it. This is true stuff that really happened to me. And so my thing is, you don't have to do that, homeboy. So, you made enough money. You made enough money. You did enough. Why are you on my material? What's that about?
Then when you look at the two sitcoms where Cat Williams is claiming that Steve copied Mark Curry, it's similar aesthetics. So this is why, Cat Williams in this interview did a lot of views and it was potent, was because it appeared that Cat Williams was telling the truth about a lot of things. Cat didn't just stop at Mark Curry. Cat would also attack how Steve Harvey did other people wrong, and he would also say, Steve Harvey's wanted to be a movie star. He could never really pan out to be a movie star, which is why he's jealous of other people who became movie stars. And he always tried to downplay it as if he didn't want to be a movie star.
What happens when real patients move curing hepatitis C from their to-do list to their today list?
I was able to move forward without Hep C doing more damage to my body.
Understanding side effects was important to me. I talked to my doctor about Acctivated.
Acctivated treats all types of chronic hepatitis C.
I thought treatment would interrupt my life, but 1 pill a day was easy.
With a 98% cure rate, Acctivated is 1 pill once a day for 12 weeks. Acctivated can also be taken during addiction recovery. If you've had hepatitis B, it may flare up and cause serious liver problems during and after treatment. Tell your doctor if you've had hepatitis B, liver or kidney problems, HIV, and all medicines and supplements you take. Taking any other on with Acctivated may cause a serious slowing of your heart rate. Most common side effects include headache and tiredness.
I put Acctivated on my today list. I only wish I'd done it sooner.
Ask your doctor about Acctivated today.
Why you not a movie star? I didn't want to be a movie star. This the same Negro that hated on Bernie with this same thing. I didn't want to be a movie star. No, you couldn't be a movie star. There are 30,000 new scripts in Hollywood every year. Not one of them asks for a country bumpkin black dude that can't talk good overcame it and look like Mr. Potato Head. There ain't none. You have to have a range. I played a lot of characters, 60 movie roles. I'm not playing Cat Williams in there.
Oh, okay. But you can't be more the way you got.
I'm not fueled by alcohol. I've had a sip. This is like Steve Harvey telling people he used to be homeless. That's my story. That's not his story. Steve Harvey was never homeless. When Mark Curry was touring with him 25 years ago, he was making $3,000 a show in cash and doing 5 shows a week. They just tell the stories. My face to my wife, I'm where I am. You said that about your first wife. You forget that. You told us it was her. Then you went and married somebody else that thinks like a man. Like, what are you talking about? They think they can rewrite history. Guy Torrey did a beautiful special about the Comedy Store and Fat Tuesday, where he said that Steve and Cedric and Kevin Hart and Tiffany Haddish came through there and made all lies. Steve and Cedric never performed at the Comedy Store at all. Tiffany was only seen at the Laugh Factory. In 15 years in Hollywood, no one in Hollywood has a memory of going to a sold-out Kevin Hart show. They pay you to not talk about things they don't want you to talk about.
People address Cat Williams in a way, but it would feel like the majority of his issues is with Shannon Sharp. Now, his logic is, listen, if you have a guest on, and the guest is about your friends. Now, I don't know how close Shannon Sharp and Steve Harvey was. I do know that Steve Harvey did do Shannon Sharp's podcast before Cat Williams. Steve Harvey was one of, like Shannon Sharp's bigger interview. I think at that particular time, Steve Harvey was the biggest interview on Shannon Sharp Club Sensei before Cat Williams came on. But nonetheless, though, right? Steve Harvey believes that Shannon Sharp owed him the respect of shutting down the conversation when his name came up. Which, if you're going to give Steve Harvey, like, that respect, then you kind of have to give that respect to other comedians, so they will ask, hold on, Shannon, you shut the conversation down when Steve Harvey came up, but you only shut it down with my name, and now you have more problems on like, your hands. So if that's the case, you then, you then shouldn't do the interview then, right? Because then Kevin Hart can ask you, hold on, Shannon, like, why you shut it down with Steve, but you let him, like, go off on me?
You can't have a podcast, let somebody come on your show and talk about your friends. I agree. Okay, you got a podcast. Y'all got a guest on here. And he starts slamming Fred. He knows something about Fred, happened in the past, was loud not, and just starts slamming Fred. Y'all got to shut that down. Yeah. Because this your brother. You got to protect him. And you got to protect the brand. They don't do that no more. So you come on my show. You spread all these lies about some people that I call my so-called friends. And I just let you sit there and check it. And because your podcast has so many views on that right there, your next guest is the same type of guest. Because now you want your money to be made off clicks and views at somebody's expense. Well, now guess what? You got to pay for that. Because once you put it out in the universe that I want clicks and views, the universe does not differentiate. It just gives you clicks and views. So now, here they come the rest of it. And now you got clicks and views.
My question to that, though, is, there was a podcast, and there was a comedian who talked about you. And you waited a while before ever responding to Cat Williams. Mm-hmm. But when you responded, it felt like there was a lot more vitriol to your response than it was all of the initial accusations. Why do you think the response to what you said was so different from what he said on Shannon's show?
When you say vitriol, what you mean?
The social media product was upset with you for the way you finally responded to him. You mentioned this hiatus, what you could do if there was ever an altercation. They said they felt like what he said about you was true because of the nature of your reaction.
Oh, well, see, first of all, I ain't really good at social media, so I didn't even know that was out there. But they can, like, really kiss most of the corners of my ass. When you say stuff like that. First of all, man, let me say this.
I don't know the relationship between Shannon Sharp and Steve Harvey. So I would need to know the relationship before I can tell you if Shannon Sharp owes Steve Harvey some type of respect or a shutdown. What I would say though, there are industry friends and there are real life friends, right? If an industry friend, let's say we're cordial, right? You do YouTube, I do YouTube. Like we talk out once in a year. That's an industry friend. Now, do I owe that industry friend to shut down every conversation that pops up about them? I don't. What I do owe them, though, is the respect for me not to talk trash about them. What I do owe them, though, is the respect to give them a heads up. Hey, man, this dude was on my podcast. He said this about you. It's coming out. I owe you that respect. But do I owe you whenever a guest open up their mouth and talk about it? No, hey, bro, no, chill, bro. You can't, no, hell no, no, hell no. No, I don't owe you that. Now, if you're my real life friend, if you're somebody who I grew up with, I hang out with every day, your out is damn near my out. So if you come on, like you can say your 1-2, you feel me, like say your piece, but when you start getting into trying to disparage, trying to tear down, trying to murder my friend's character, I gotta shut that down. And that's just out of loyalty and respect, Now, Steve Harvey came with a pimp.
Lil Durk's homie Lil Zay Osama got robbed for 2 watches and 5 people died over it. But that's only the beginning of the story. Prisoners of war heats up in Chirac, and we're breaking down while bodies are dropping all over the streets. Snatching jewelry isn't anything new in the rap game, but the drama that got sparked when Lil Zay got robbed is on a whole different level. It all started when Lil Durk signed Lil Zay to his OTF label. Linking up with Durk was a huge win for Lil Zay in the rap game, but nobody knew that it was going to end with some brutal violence and people getting killed in front of their kids. According to Lil Zay, all the girls in OTF were part of a group chat so they could link up for music and show up each other's videos. If it was just OTF, then it wouldn't have been a problem. But Durk has ties all over Chicago, and there were some other dudes in the group chat that weren't signed to the label and were from THF Code 6. Lil Durk and THF have been tapped in for a long time, and Lil Durk's old manager Chino worked the set too, and allegedly got killed because of Durk. Lil Durk remixed Benito by Chief Keef, and this 051 and Money when he raps. Twitter niggas throwing emojis by my name. Bitch, I'm riding through the ops. Gonna go and shoot your money yet. Reach my trigger finger. It ain't stuck. Then a few days later, 051 Nelly allegedly killed Chino and dissed him on social media. Lil Zay reps a block called 6300 and wasn't really tied with THF. Lil Zay didn't have any problems with them though. So when a couple of THF dudes wanted to pull up to his video shoot, Lil Zay was cool with the situation.
I never had no problem with him, no bad vibes with him. So they come to the video shoot.
After the video shoot was over, Lil Zay went back to his hotel and got drunk. When he woke up the next day, 2 of his watches were gone. Lil Zay thought about what went down the night before, and that's when he remembered that the THF dudes pulled up to his hotel. Lil Zay was buying some products off the dudes and let him in his room so he could hand over the cash. And that's when the THF guys allegedly took his ice. At first, the THF dudes were trying to act like they didn't have anything to do with the situation, but that all changed after bodies started dropping. Lil Zay called him out on Instagram and said he was going to put the belt to him, but nobody expected the brutal hit to happen next. In February 2024, THF TP was walking with his kids down the street after he took them up to school in the west side of Chicago. TP had homies out there in Low Block and probably wasn't thinking the ops would pull up on him when he was out like that. The 2 shooters hopped out and brutally killed THF TP right in front of him. After TP got killed, there were all kinds of rumors flying about who pulled the trigger. A lot of people thought it might have been someone from 051. THF and 051 have been beefing for years, and TP dissed the dude from 051 named Lil Mark after he died at the bus stop. Lil Mark was actually Tupa's brother, and after they both got killed at bus stops, THF TP drove the track bus stop and rapped, "So I keep my head up, you can't go broke, so stack or star, cause you know my niggas hot, we known for sending shots, smoking Mark with the bros, got my eyes bloodshot, I'm on my block, came from the bottom, I'ma make it to the top, don't get your ass bound like your homie by that bus stop." Dudes from 051 were dissing THF TP after he died too. 051 Kiddo was in jail for a while, but then he hopped in the booth and dissed TP when he rapped, "This that caught his ass, this that I got TP in my wood, this that I don't sleep until they all dead." A lot of people were putting TP's death on 051, but it turned out that TP allegedly got killed for Lil Zay's watches. Lil Zay has pulled some dudes from BBC, aka Bashville, and after THF TP got killed, Don from BBC posted the watches and said somebody had already died for him. But THF wasn't the only one taking losses. According to rumors, the dude from BBC named Man was one of the shooters on the THF TP hit, and he ended up getting killed while he was in the car with his cousin. It's not clear how it all went down, but Man and his cousin both got shot to death, and rumors are flying that THF killed him to get back to THF TP. BBC also has heavy beef with a set called DOD though, and some reports say that Man was killed while he was trying to slide on DOD, and THF didn't have anything to do with it. DOD and THF have some ties to each other though, and nobody really knows who pulled the trigger on Man. Then after Man got killed, a shooter from DOD named Swervo was shot to death while he was sitting in the parked car. Swervo was allegedly gave back to Man, but Swervo's sister got caught up in the situation too, and tragically died at the scene right next to her brother. Some people think BBC took out Swervo, but other reports say it was actually a robbery that went left, and didn't have anything to do with the drama sparking up in the street. So dudes in THF were allegedly trying to claim Man as their work. But then Lil Zay pretty much confirmed Man killed THF TV and said THF didn't get back when he rapped.
Here's the reality. Acorns knows you're not investing because you don't know how. You don't think you have enough. You don't have the time. And that's exactly why they'll recommend an expert-built portfolio for you. They'll get you started with just your spare change. And they'll even automate your deposits with recurring investments. Basically, Acorns does the hard part for you, so your money actually has a chance to grow. Start investing in 5 minutes when you download the Acorns app.
My mom went through 5 abortions before she decided to keep me.
I always kind of thought it was just like a little seed.
I will be against abortion for sure, 100%.
And if we don't feel like it or we don't have enough money for it, any circumstance should not be anybody else's choice but that person.
I know that certain circumstances, make you have to do that. So
pro-choice, pro-life, or neither?
Pro-choice. And I do know that there are some people who do believe in it, and I don't really want to put my opinions onto them.
Everybody has a choice.
We do believe that it's a baby in the womb.
It's a tough one. Yeah, how did I crack it open? Yeah, it's a tough one.
It's okay if you don't know.
Yeah, I don't really. Yeah, you got me there. It's like, I don't know.
In the economy we live in, it's better to be safe than sorry. It's better late than never to get rid of it and, maybe try again later.
Do you think there should be any restrictions on abortion, such as only allowing them in the first 3 months of pregnancy?
I believe all the way up until birth.
Do you know anything about how an abortion is performed?
I don't.
This is just more.
Niggas kill your baby mama and you ain't did nothing to your ops. Man Manny from the one. He got that gift back for that watch. And the ops ain't do.
ESPN executive reveals why Molly Karam's exit was so abrupt.